Right, we're off, I think, aren't we? Hello, everyone. How you doing? Good to see you. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining me on your Wednesday evening. Who have we got in? Davey. Evening, mate. Techno GB. Hello, mate. How you doing? Good to see you. J-Star. Hello, mate. Good evening. How's Strix? How are we all doing? Thank you very much again for joining us on, joining me for an 8,000 subscriber live stream special, I suppose. Well, here we are. What a milestone for me. It's, well, for anyone. 8,000 subscribers. How amazing is that? We crossed that bridge a few days back. So yeah, thank you to you all for getting the channel to where it is. It's an amazing achievement for all of us. I'm so grateful. So yeah, how you doing? Happy New Year to all of you who haven't spoken to over Discord or anything, or in videos or anything in comments since the New Year. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great time. Merry Christmas and all that. We're a bit late now, aren't we? 8th of January, but yeah, hope everyone's good. So, what we're doing today, we've got a few jobs to do. I kind of figured I'd do, with the limitation of maps at the minute. Obviously, we've only got a handful. There are a few out there, I get that, but it's difficult to from a creative side of things. It's difficult to just, I don't want to just create a series for the sake of creating a series, and so I kind of figured I'd do a live stream on Riverbend. Obviously, this has been my my only series that we've been doing so far on the channel since 25 came out. It's a beautiful map. I appreciate a lot of people are a bit and ahhing about the base game maps, and we're all waiting for some modded maps to come out. I get that, but Riverbend is pretty decent, I've got to say. Ironside Gaming, good evening, mate. How you doing? I'm very well, thank you, mate. Thank you for asking. How are you? I hope you're good. Thank you very much for joining us. Chad Preel, hello, mate. Good to see you. Thank you very much for your time, for joining us, mate. Hope you're all good. So, yeah, I kind of figured instead of doing my usual episodic series every few days, I figured we'd do a bit of a live stream. So we've got a few jobs lined up. We've got some rolling to do in the big field down on the other side of the shed down there. We've got some liming to do. We've got some cultivating to do if need be. I need to feed my cows, actually, so that's what we're going to do first. We're going to feed the cows. I'll tell you one thing I do love, actually. I've just washed all my machinery, especially for the live stream. But I love the, the wet effect on the tyres, for example. You can still see the drops of water on the tyres, and the tyres just look proper shiny, don't they? I do love that. It's really cool. It really is. As you can see, they've all got shiny tyre syndrome right now. So, but we're going to jump in the old white here. Evening, Cher. How are you, love? You okay? Have you got your you got stuff all sorted for Llama? Love your stream on Riverbend. Thanks, Chad, mate. Appreciate that. I'm very glad that people seem to be enjoying the series down here on Riverbend so far. Calmsden will come, then I can play 25, then I won't get bored playing. I must admit, mate, I am looking forward to Calmsden. The images that Oxy has posted on his Facebook page, and Scruff's videos as well. Scruff is a lucky bunny, and isn't he, having the access to Calmsden. I think he's good mates with Oxy, I think. But you know what, for me, I think I did mention this, I said this to Scruff in one of his comments, actually. Scruff and Calmsden, for me, go hand in hand together. They just do. Every time I think of Calmsden, or every time Calmsden just comes into my mind now, it's just Scruffed because of the farmhand. Don't know why. That's just what it is in my mind anyway. But it's awesome. I love it. But yeah, Calmsden's looking very special with the new effects and the new stuff that the game brings to maps. It's pretty special. So, if any of you have been watching the series so far here on Riverbend, especially the last couple of ones since I did what I've been doing on this farm. Andrena Robinson, good evening, love. How you doing? Hope you're well. That's a full trailer, that is. There we go. That was quick. 29,500 litres. So we've got 100 and... We're now in March the 3rd. I think the last episode finished in March the 2nd, early doors March the 2nd, I think. So I'd put some hay and some silage and straw into the TMR mixer here. Now I've passed time to the next day. That's quite a low door, that, isn't it? But yeah, we've got 100 and something thousand litres of TMR now. So now So if I pop to the cows very quickly before we do, they've still got some of the meadow. I'm going to show you that in a minute as well, because I was able to get the meadow thing working thanks to some advice from one of you wonderful viewers a few weeks back. But there we go. Right, well I'm going to run back into with a couple of trailers with here now. Andrena, you want to see the farm? That's no problem at all. We'll give you a quick tour. It's nothing too special, I suppose, but I am quite proud of it. It's as the title said in a couple of episodes back, I spent almost $3 million upgrading the farm. While that's filling up, I'll show you. So most of that money was spent on the cows here, and in fact, no, that's a bit of a lie. Most of the money was spent on equipment, actually, to be fair. Thank you very much, MC Farm. Appreciate that. Yep, 8,000 subscribers. It's quite a thing. I think I've been doing it now for actually, it's almost 2 years, just shy of 2 years. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was February 2022 or 23, one of the two. But yeah, I've been doing it for 2 years. Almost. So to be at 8,000 subscribers in that length of time, for me, I'm really proud of it. I really am, and I've got all of you to thank for that. We wouldn't be anywhere like this now if it wasn't for you guys supporting me. All the likes, the views, the comments, the subscriptions, the memberships, and the friendships, because that's one of the many things that this game has brought about, especially in Discord. It's wonderful. It's a properly cool community, and I'm honoured, flattered, humbled to be part of it. It really is something. So anyway, right, yeah, we have the new cow barn. The minute we've got 220 cows in here that can hold 340, but I left a bit of space. I didn't fill it with cows because I wanted to leave a bit of space for a bit of reproduction. So yeah, and I did spend a lot of time, not designing it, that's the wrong word, but texturing it, just spending a lot of time in the construction menu, texturing things, just to try and make things look as, within the confines of my bag of talent anyway, as realistic as possible. You know, well, that's what we're all aiming for in this game, isn't it? To try and make things look as realistic as possible. So yeah, I did spend just what, you know, like when you're painting down a lane like this, for example, instead of just painting down the texture for the road and going and leaving it at that, you know, paint the grass into the middle, put some extra bits of mud in the middle and some pebbles and the bits down the side, but vary the textures a bit. In my opinion anyway, I try and do that just because it's those little bits, those tiny little bits that you very rarely see, you don't spend any time looking at, but like when you stand here like that and you're looking at what's in front of you, you've got grass and you've got all those different types of textures. There's about 5 or 6 different textures here, and I did that all the way around the edge of the grass and stuff, and around the base of the trees. Again, when I place the tree on the grass, it's just a tree on grass, but then you spend a few minutes just painting patches around the bottom, a bit of plain grass and some rocks and some mud and some leaves, just adds to that immersion. So I really enjoyed it. Like I said in the video, at risk of repeating myself a few days later, I absolutely loved doing this, building this farm. It's a part of the game that I absolutely adore, just losing yourself for hours and days at a time, not driving a tractor, not even, you know, I don't even have to own a tractor. I just love painting the thing down and just making the place feel as immersive as possible within the confines of the construction menu in the game and the mods that we have. So but a couple of parts that I really do like, the closest ones here actually, in the sheep pen that we've got here, but it's the rivers and ponds mod. Now forgive me, I haven't got the modder's name to hand. Oh, there you go, he's just been for a dunk, hasn't he? Did you see him come out of the water then? But quite simply, yeah, creating these little ponds. Now they don't act as, they don't count towards the water levels of the animals, which is fine, it's not a problem, they're just decorative. But they do still have the new physics. So if I jump into the water and in and out again, you see the ripples, of course, a new addition to FARMERSIM 25. It's just a case of going into the construction menu, creating a low point, you know, sinking the ground and doing it as randomly as you can, and then you place the water that just comes it comes in varying shapes and sizes, but you just place that down as a sheet over the hole that you've created, and then go around and just paint it. And place some bushes down and just go for your life with the painting and the texturing. And I love it. I really do. I've done one there. I could have, you know, just peppered the place with puddles and things like that. But in fact, it'll be quicker for me just to go back over here, jump into the tractor, and I made the cows a kind of a watering hole over here, just slightly bigger. So when they do walk up to here, unfortunately, obviously the cows don't recognise it as what it is. They can still wander through it, in and out of it, and take a bit of a dunk. But I mean, it does look pretty cool, doesn't it? I've got to say, it's an awesome. Makes for some nice vistas, doesn't it? Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's what a journey indeed. Lily's Kitchen. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate that. I hope you have plans to have a Carmsden stream when it comes out. Well, I mean, let's be honest. It'll be rude not to, wouldn't it? Carmsden. I know Oxy is planning on. Carmsden's coming very soon, I believe, and I think Court Farms is coming a bit later on as well. I mean, he's to give Oxy his due. I know he's still working on Whitcomb Park Farm, which is going to be. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure if any of you seen the teaser things that he's posted on his Facebook a wee while back, late last year, the images that he's posted for Whitcomb Park Farm, that looks special. I will be on that map ASAP when that comes out, because that looks gorgeous. And FARMERSIM Briscoe, also talking of maps, Saxlingham, if I remember correctly, that's what his new one's called. He is a talented map maker. FARMERSIM Briscoe is responsible for the oaks and the vintage oaks back in FARMERSIM 22. Yeah, Saxlingham looks wicked as well. It looks one of these. It's obviously it's down to the map makers, these talented, wonderfully talented map makers that we have. Their ability to make a map feel immersive, excuse me, is wonderful. And FARMERSIM Briscoe has those talents in droves, so I'm very much looking forward to Saxlingham as well. Another interesting point, actually. So I was talking about the meadow function. Now, apparently the meadow function of the animal pastures, when you customize a pasture like this, is kind of broken, I think. So when you place down a custom pasture, you do all that kind of stuff, and then the message says, do you want the pasture to the meadow thing to fill the pasture, and you click on yes. Apparently it doesn't work. So what the tip that I'd received from a viewer weeks ago, and this is bearing in mind that if you have the capacity to do this, because I was placing the cow barn and the custom pasture on top of my existing field here, I basically cut the end off this field and place this pasture down. What you want to do is place it down on a grass field that's ready to harvest, an actual proper grass field, not the painted stuff, but an actual proper grass field that you mow and you bale up and turn to silage. Place down the custom pasture, but then click no when it asks to place the meadow thing down for the function of the cow barn. And sure enough, I now have, again, going into the animal menu, you see they're down to 40%, but this was completely full. But what I've just noticed, interestingly, only a few minutes ago, so this is us in the map. This is the field, obviously, as you can see, and it's now split. It's the same field. This is now the cow area, as you can see. There's me pond. But if we go over to the growth bit here now, this was ready to harvest. So the cows are taking from the grass and eating it. It's counting towards their food. But also, if we go to... Which one are we at now? Sorry. If we remove growing, as you can see, it's growing back. So it's harvest... Excuse me. The bits that are ready to harvest they haven't eaten yet, but the bits they have eaten yet is already growing back. So that's brilliant. So I'm hoping that moving forward with the series anyway, I may well have to fertilize it still. I can't actually get a tractor into this pasture because it was created using the custom pasture. There's not actually any gates. There is an access point for this particular cow barn through this particularly narrow path here. But I can't get a tractor in here, so if I wanted to fertilise it, I'd have to just super strength the tractor over the fence kind of thing, so I'm not too sure what I can do about that. But the main thing is, it's working, and it's counting towards their food, which is brilliant. So, yeah. Right, so, and anyway, yeah, so, and I've also got this, I'm trying to keep up with Andrena's request for a bit of a tour around the farm. So I've got MA7's manure evacuator here. Now, unfortunately, I know a lot of people have had this issue. that it's not actually connected to the cow barn anymore. You see that at the top, connected to, and it should say cow barn XL or whatever. When I placed it down initially, it connected fine, and it was fine. And then as soon as I came out of the game and came back into it, it had disconnected. But apparently I'm not the only one who has that problem. There's loads of people who've got that problem, apparently. So all I can do is hope that Giants fix that particular issue in an up-and-coming update. Fingers crossed, touch wood. I may well need to place the manure bunker down again after that, if that, hoping that that gets fixed. And then obviously going from there, we'll be able to take advantage of the cow's manure. But it's an awesome cow barn. It really is. It's quite capacious. It's got plenty of room for plenty of animals. I love the design of it. We've got this nice big open bit here, obviously, to play around with. I've painted a few bits and bobs down to give it a bit of life. We've got a slurry tank, which is working, thankfully. We've got 13,618 litres of in here so far. And they're already producing milk. We've got 985 litres of milk, which is brilliant. So far, so good. All that seems to be working. So I need to... what have they got food-wise? They've got 30,000 litres out of a quantity of 400,000. So, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. I've been drinking fizzy Fanta for the last couple of hours, so you have to excuse me there. But, yeah. We've got 100,000 litres of TMR in the mixer. I'm not too sure exactly how long that's going to last. So I do need to pull my finger out in some respects there. Hey up Welsh, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Dutch Modelling as well. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Thank you very much, Dutch. Appreciate that. Thanks, Welsh, mate. Very kind of you, yeah. What an achievement, man. What an achievement. And it's all down to you guys, like I said before. Without wonderful fans and viewers and friends doing what you do, watching my videos, and doing all that, we wouldn't be anywhere. So it's wonderful. It really is. I think this kind of thing for me, I've kind of said the same thing for ages now. Every time I've done a celebratory kind of live stream, when we've hit a milestone, I kind of say the same thing, don't I? But I don't think I'll ever grow. I'm not ever going to grow tired of it, because it's a wonderful thing. It really is. Is everything looking and sounding all right, by the way, on the video? I always do ask this question, but I think I have managed to defeat my video demons. I've got excellent connection. Everything looks tickety-boo. No dropped frames. I've got the bit rate set to the last live stream I did. I think I did that with Mrs. SG over on Hoot and Pantai. I was having a few. I didn't have any issues, but the message there said that my bit rate was a bit low. So, hey, Sir Will, how are you doing? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Sir Will, Cherwill. Welcome, mate. Cheers for joining us. Oh, is that me? Have I emptied my TMR mixer already? Is that all of it done? Where are we? I should be able to see it there. Yeah, all done now. Right. We've got hay and straw. 31,000 litres of hay. 15,000 litres of straw, but we have no silage. So, in fact, actually, while I'm here, because I did fast forward time, I just need to see, because we do have plenty of silage bales in here fermenting away. Let's just get one out, just so I can see where we're up to with the fermenting process. You'll have to excuse me here, because I'm just going to... Where are we? 62%. Right, okay. And this bale shed as well, this is brilliant. This is by Black Sheep Modding, I think. So just how lovely and simple that is. The whole auto-load space for the bale shed is basically the entire floor plan of the shed, so you can reverse in at any point through any of these posts. And it'll just take from your trailer, from your bale, from your forks. Now, Bitcaps, hello mate, hope you're well. Chris B, there he is, mate, how you doing? We've got store deliveries working now, working all good. I do hope so, mate. Hope that's all working perfectly. Oh, Dutch, mate, that tool angle indicator thing, that is a wonderful mod. It really is. It, yeah. Dutch came to the rescue after a couple of episodes ago when I was literally just throwing my telehandler around my new workshop, bashing into things, and I think I tried to drive out the door with the boom too high and smashed into the door. within a couple of hours, it sent me a link to a mod on Discord called the Tool Inclination mod, which basically gives you a little bit of a very discreet but extremely helpful visual display on the bottom left of your speedometer that just shows you the angle and the level of your tools on the front of your telehandler or forklift truck or anything like that, or your skid steer or anything. Very, very helpful. And I'm sure I'm assuming it'll work for front loaders as well when you've got a bucket on your tractor. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Oh, and in fact, actually, while I'm here, the sheep. What are they like for food? Let's have a look quickly. Okay, so they've still got just under full. So for the sake of this episode, we will be fine. What I might actually have to do, thinking about it, is take one of the bales out of the bale shed there and stick that in front of their enclosure for now. Keep them topped up, because we've got quite a few grass fields, but keep things neat and tidy. We've got quite a few grass fields, but they're still growing. After my rolling escapades where I thought I'd killed my fields in the last episode, I did test it. Those of you who did watch my the last episode over here on Riverbend, I've got the Gutler Matador mod, if I remember correctly. It's by Vertex Design, I think. It's a lovely mod. Especially we're going to be using it right now. We're going to go and roll this field in front of us here, and it comes. You can spec it as a normal field roller or as a grassland roller with a leveling board at the back. And they're only 15 grand, so I bought one of each basically. But the grassland roller seemed to kill off my field when I rolled it over the grass. We mowed the grass, and then obviously the usual procedure would be to run your grassland roller over your mowed grass, and almost immediately you will see it go from harvested to the second to last, or potentially the last growth stage, promoting the grass growth much quicker. Basically, that's how I used to use my grass roller with a leveling board back in 22. But this one just seemed to kill off the field. It went from harvested to nothing, and I was like, oh no. So I got a bit worried, so I kind of saved the game and came out of the game, went back into it and fast forwarded time and all that kind of stuff just to check. And sure enough, come the next month, it goes from completely gone to the darkest green of growth stages. I'll go into the map here, but where are we? So the fields in question are field 60, 62 and 64. These are all the 3 grass fields that we mowed, and as you can see there at the minute, the crop is still there. It still says grass, but when you go to growth, there's nothing at all. But sure enough, come the 1st of April next month, it just suddenly comes back, and everything is good. So in fact, what I will actually do, just to make sure that this aspect of this roller is working properly, it's changing the texture. But if I go to, we want the next one, don't we? There we go, yeah. And we're getting the next fertilization. If I get rid of, no, I'm doing the wrong one, aren't I? Oh no, it's already completely fertilizing it. There we go, but it is getting rid of, excuse me, the rolling part. So we're doing the job. So excellent. Here we go into a spot of field work. Like I said, we've got a few jobs to do on our own farm. Not much. We've got this to get done to roll, and we have field 62 needs liming, one of those grass fields, and then we've got field 76, which is the big field towards the south of the map. That's a field that I bought when I took out the big $3 million loan. There's nothing in it. It's completely rammed with weeds. It's a complete mess basically. So we need to start again. The idea with that one is we're going to plant some corn, but I can't plant any corn till next month, till tomorrow, till April. So we need to get that cultivated, get it raised over, get it ready for a drilling. But we're going to have to, I'm going to need to lease a planter, obviously to plant the corn. And when it comes to harvest time, I'm going to need to lease a corn header, but that's all good. It does work for front loaders. I guess the same goes for wheel loaders, but I haven't used any yet. No, yeah, I kind of figured that would be the case. So basically anything with a bucket or a fork or a spike on the front would do the same thing. But it is a very, very clever, but really subtle mod, I feel. It's awesome. And for people like me, whose bag of talent occasionally has lots of holes in, there you go. You can keep an eye on things, can't you? That's all that matters. So how's everybody's new year? I hope everyone has had a good new year so far. Have we been up to much? Anything special? Did we enjoy the festive period? Do tell. My 2025 started as a bit of a nightmare, if I'm honest. Literally, within the first hour of waking up, January the 1st, 2025. It was meant to be nice, but came downstairs. Mrs. FS had bought me some posh coffee as one of the little stocking fillers for Christmas presents. So I was like, I'd made myself a nice coffee, and I thought, you know, it was just a nice. Everyone was still in bed. I was the only one up, and I was like, you know what? Nice start to the year. Just chill out. No. Do I get that opportunity? No. The downstairs toilet was blocked. It's like, what? So it started off with that, which was wonderful. And literally 10 minutes later, Mrs. FS comes downstairs and said, "You'll never guess what." And I'm like, go on, what? The little lad lost his car key while he was out with his mates celebrating on New Year's Eve. He's only recently just passed his driving test. He'd been over to Sandbach, a few miles away, to stay at his cousin's. They'd been out into Sandbach town centre to celebrate New Year's Eve. And he lost his car key. Why he took his car key with him, beyond me, because he was out boozing. The car was over at his cousin's, parked outside, but it was in his pocket. I think it was just the circumstances around what made them leave the house and get out to go out celebrate, and he hadn't thought about what was in his pockets. And we only had one key for that car. It was a used car, his first car, Ford Fiesta, and he lost it, completely lost it. And I spent a couple of days trying to get in touch with the pub that he thought with the bar that he believed he'd lost it in. Finally got through to them. You wouldn't believe this, right? So he lost the key. I'm frantically trying to find it. I literally went out myself to that town, Sandbach, which is about 15-20 minutes away, knowing where he'd been. He knew he'd been in the bar, and he had the key in the bar because he'd at one point he was fiddling with it in his hands when he was sat at the table with his mates for some reason. He knew he'd left that bar, gone over the road to a takeaway to get a kebab, and then when he got in the Uber, which picked him up outside the takeaway, he realised he'd lost his key. So it was somewhere between that, like 100 yards between the bar and the takeaway, and the Uber that picked him up outside. Because when he got in the Uber, he realised he didn't have his key in his pocket, and he started to worry. So yeah, I was searching around at like 8 o'clock at night with my phone in me and walking around the streets, looking in all the curbs, down all the edges, near all the little back alleys and stuff outside the pubs, looking like a complete fool. But I couldn't find it. And then the next day, I get a phone call from the pub, from the landlord who'd been out looking, who'd helped look for the thing as well. And he said, "Mate, good news. I found your key," because I told him it's a Ford car key. It's just one car key with a house key on it. And he said, "Mate, I found your key." And I was like, literally, like, super excited, dead happy that we finally got to the bottom of this. So I went down to the pub, and he opened the door, and he handed me a Ford car key with a key ring, with a house key on it. But was it ours? No. Can you believe it, that on the same night, someone else had lost their Ford key with a key attached to it, but it wasn't ours. It was a much more modern Ford key that didn't have an actual blade sticking out of it. It was one of them ones that you slot into the slot in the dashboard. Can you believe that? What are the chances? So yeah. Anyway, that's how my New Year started. So it took us about a week to give up on looking for the key. Obviously, the lad's without his car in this time, so he's learnt his lesson, I hope. And 300 quid later, and a locksmith. We've got 2 new keys, because that's what we had to do. We had to get an auto locksmith out to the car to come and make a new key to suit the lock and then code it to the car and all that kind of stuff. Oh my word. As George would say, what a faff. So there we go, but that faff is now over. So because of all of that, I mean, it was properly stressing me out, because I mean, you lose your key for your car, what do you do? You know, I mean, fortunately, you know, he paid for it. He's earning now. He's got a job and all that kind of stuff. So he paid the 300 quid, rightfully so. But I was like, well, you know, I had to fill in for his inability to drive in that time. So I was taking him to work and stuff, and, you know, early hours of the morning and this kind of stuff. But yeah, so it properly stressed me out. But anyway, it's fixed now, thankfully. And I have a key to his car now on my keyring, so that'll never get lost. Yes, coffee, Welsh coffee, absolutely. It was posh coffee, special coffee, because I drink a lot of coffee. I don't buy the expensive stuff for me. For me, coffee's a tool. It's a wake-up tool, and I need gallons of it every morning just to open my eyelids. So Mrs. FS very kindly bought me some really nice stuff that I wouldn't normally treat myself to. Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. Andreas, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. There we are. If it's no trouble, ladies and gentlemen, I can see that we've got 46 viewers in, so hello to everyone who's watching. I hope you're well. If it's no trouble, give that like button a smash if you can, because it does it helps YouTube, and helps me, and helps YouTube kind of do its thing and recommend the video and all that. So if it's no trouble, give that like button a smash if you can. Yeah. So yeah, how was everyone else's New Year? I hope it was a little bit less eventful than mine. I hope you had a good time. I really do. It's doing all right, this tractor and roller. The roller requires 90 horsepower. The tractor's 80 horsepower. So no, sorry, I've got that wrong. The roller requires 80 horsepower. The tractor's at 90. So we're right on the limit, but it's doing it right. It's doing it well. It's doing a good job. Sylvester, can you show us graphic settings? Your game looks nice. Well, thank you, mate. I'm really grateful you think that graphic settings. Honestly, I've spent several hours today. I can't show you the graphic settings properly because that means coming out of the game, doesn't it, to go into your options. But essentially, I haven't amended the LOD distances and the view distances in the XML file, which ordinarily back in 22 I did. These are set to the maximum of 200%. But essentially, everything, literally every setting in the options menu is up at the maximum of everything. So it's either ultra or very high and 200% this and whatever. The couple of things that I have dialed down, maybe as a force of habit from 22, is the mirrors and the tyre tracks. So I've got the tyre tracks set to 100%, and I have the maximum mirrors set to 2, I think. So if you look there, both of my side mirrors are active, but the middle one isn't. So when I get rid of the left one there, now that one comes back into play. I can probably afford to turn that up, to be honest, because my new graphics card is quite capable. In fact, I should probably do that. But aside from that, Sylvester, the graphics settings, like I say, that everything is just turned up. And at the minute, I'm running what do you call it? What's the setting called? Begins with P. My brain's gone now, I can't think of it. But I'm running FSR 3, essentially. Fidelity Super Resolution 3. So when it comes to your frames per second, as you can see, it gives you it's like a... I can't be technical about how it works, but normally you have one readout for your frames per second, but this like gives I want to say like a buffer of 30 frames a second, so it gives the smoothness, it makes the smoothness really, really smooth, and I don't get any juddering. But the one thing that it does, the knock-on effect of that, which is really quite annoying, is ghosting. which is something that's it's not particular to this game. It's unfortunately it's a knock-on effect of the FSR3, and apparently this is across many genres of games. I know people have got it with Cyberpunk, I want to say Red Dead Redemption, I think, and Grand Theft Auto. FSR3 gives you ghosting. So if I show you, where do we do it now? If you look at the vertical, look at the left-hand edge of the exhaust pipe, you see when I wiggle left and right there, you can kind of see a very slight ghosting, like vertical lines. It's not too bad, it's not too invasive or anything, so I've just had to bite my lip and get used to it. But after doing more research, upscaling, thank you, Sylvester. Yeah, the FSR3 is the upscaling, which again in my mind, I don't really need to upscale, because I'm playing in 4K, I'm recording in 4K, I'm streaming in 4K, I'm on a 4K screen, so I've got no need to upscale. But I can't explain the technicalities behind what FSR3 is or does, but I know that when I activate it, it gives it on this map, it gives me the smoothest gameplay. Now what I have actually found through doing my little testing and stuff is that the problem that I have is, and I think it's isolated to me. It's not isolated to me, but because of the way I normally record my videos, you know, doing my cinematics and stuff, when I'm in flight mode and flying around with it, you know, having amended my FOV, I've reduced the FOV to make things look a bit closer and all that kind of stuff. It's the sideways movements. So when I jump out of a tractor and I do that and scroll around a tractor slowly, it's when the tractor's busy in the field working on courseplay, the visual appearance of the tractor is it's jerky. It goes bum 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 bum, and it's really noticeable, and it drives me up the wall. But what I found is that's only on this map. It doesn't do it on. I downloaded a mod map, Dakota, a 4X map. I jumped into that. I ran a vehicle on courseplay, and it is smooth as butter in flight mode with amended FOVs. There's not a single jump, and that's thankfully down to the graphics card, and that's without the FSR settings. So there's something particular about this map that does it. And now there's a few more problems with this map. I know that with the area restricted stuff and in the construction menu, which is one of those things. It is what it is. And I tried it on another map as well. It's a mod map that I downloaded off King Mods. It begins with G. It's a gorgeous map. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of the map, but it's just a 1X, you know. But it's a really nicely detailed map. And again, I did the same test on there, ran courseplay, jumped into flight mode, pretended that I was like filming a cinematic, and it's absolutely flawless without FSR. That's just running the normal game without the upscaling and all that kind of stuff, just with the TAA, temporal anti-aliasing, on, and it's perfect. So it's something to do with this map, which is frustrating. Where are we on? Entwined, hello mate, how you doing? Got you on the background, well done on the 8K subs, keep it up. Thank you very much, mate, I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you, mate. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us, mate. Hope all's good. Oh, Cher, you had the flu for New Year. Mate, I'm sorry to hear that. Flu's awful. Flu proper kicks you, doesn't it? It's a nasty one, it really is. How are you getting over it now, mate? Are you alright now? Are you feeling better? You need to recharge those batteries for Llama, my friend. It's only a week. It's less than... Oh, hang on. What day is it today? It's a week today, isn't it? So what is it now? It's 20 to 9. This time next week, we'll all be together. This time next week, won't we, Cher? We're all going to be at the Arden Hotel in Birmingham, having our community meet, having spent the entire day at the NEC looking at tractors. How good's that? Can't wait. Very much looking forward to it. Have you got your Tupperware boxes full of all your chocolate cake and all that you're bringing along? There we go. You have to forgive me as well, because it's been so cold here. It's really cold here at the minute. We've had some pretty decent snowfall the last couple of days. The snow fell a couple of days ago. We had about 3 inches, which is quite a lot for us. and then the next day it kind of snowed a little bit more, but got a bit colder. And then last night into today, it didn't snow, but all the snow that was still there just solidified. So all the cars were like 2.5, 3 inches in thick ice. And it's properly cold out there. You've got next week off. Very good, Cher. Very good. How much is Llama? To get into, mate, it's free. The tickets are free. You've got to book them online. It doesn't cost to get in. For the show. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure if tickets are on the door or not, mate. I honestly wouldn't know. I wouldn't want to tell you either way in case I'm wrong. But if you just Google Llama, go to the NEC and you just reserve your ticket with your email address, reserve your place. You get sent a ticket over email, and just print the ticket out. Quite simply, that's all you've got to do. It doesn't cost a penny. It's considering. I know all my mates are in. Obviously, we're all into cars and motorsport and stuff. Autosport show is happening a few days prior at the NEC, and it costs them like, I want to say about 12 or 15 quid, I think, to get in. Garbindle, that's the one, Dutch. Thank you, mate. Garbindle. Yeah, I downloaded that a few hours ago. Appreciate that, mate. Yes, you got to all the big shows like Autosport and stuff. You've got to pay to get in, but Llama, it's the entry is free. You just got to turn up, but you do have to have your ticket to present. I don't actually, thinking about it, remembering what it was like last year. There was no capacity to buy or pay for tickets on the door, if I remember correctly. They do have the security out there to check you give them your ticket that you printed off, and they give you a lanyard and a little plastic thing to hang on your lanyard, and you put it all together and off you go. But yeah, mate, get it done, because Giants are there again this year, so that's going to be pretty cool. So I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of us there. I know DJ and Farmer Cop are coming over from the States. We've got Yoss, we've got FSG, we've got Mrs. Sim Gamer, Leroy's going, I'm going, we've got Disturbed, we've got Cartech, we've got FARMERSIM Snowy. I'm trying my very best to think of all the names that are going. Hey Mark, how you doing, mate? Good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, mate. Happy New Year. Very much Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Thank you very much. You're going to be there at Llama, are you, Mark? I was trying my best to think of all the names of people who are going to be at Llama a week today. If you're looking for a 4X map, have a look at Cheeky Badger. I'm playing on that and really like it. Argsy was playing that this morning, actually, on his live stream. I joined him for a few moments while I was still waking up. Cheeky Badger. I love the name. It's an awesome name for a map. That will put people off. Not at all, mate. Do you know which hall Giants are in? I don't know the particulars about where everyone is, and I've missed a bit there. Can't be having that. That's absolutely diabolical. Look at that. Shocking performance, FARMERSIM. I'm afraid I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the layout of it yet, Cher. I'm afraid I've got no idea which hall they're in. There's probably some info out there. It's probably on an email somewhere from the event organisers that will probably. I did actually get an email actually to say from the Llama event a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure everyone would have got it to say that Giants are going to be there, and it probably did say the hall that they're in, but because I didn't pay much attention, I can't say. But yeah, but it's going to be awesome. That's what it is. Last year was amazing. It was a hell of an experience for me as a young YouTuber, to go out there and meet so many wonderful people, rub shoulders with some of the big boys, and meet some modders, meet some of the guys from Giants, just meet some of the names that initially last year anyway, to be able to meet who did we Mr. Sealy P. Met Mr. Sealy P. I shook his hand. I had a long conversation with Mr. Sealy P, and it was like Mr. Sealy P and FSG as well, to bump into and meet FSG and Scroft. Scroft was there, of course. Sorry, there's a name. How could I forget Scroft? Scroft and Beanie are going to be there, I believe, at Llama. and at the community meetup, so that's going to be just awesome. Kartek, Disturbed. Ron, there he is. Hello, mate. How you doing? It's been a while, mate. How the devil are you? Happy New Year, Ron, mate. Hope you're well. Appreciate you joining us, mate. There we are. So yeah, I'm proper excited for Llama. It's like our day out, isn't it? We can put the keyboards and the mouse and the mice and the keypads down, step away from the computer for a few hours, and go and do actual real life stuff and meet actual human beings. It's awesome. Don't do a Kartek. What did Kartek do? Pray tell. You're going to have to enlighten me there, mate. Good lord, we're almost finished the field already. I thought that was going to take me ages. Farmer B, hello mate, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Absolutely great, mate. Happy New Year to you as well. Glad you're doing well. Thank you, mate. Yeah. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. I've done a really good farm build. Cheers, Andreas. Thank you very much, mate. I'm glad you like it. It's, yeah, I love doing it. I really do. I really did enjoy doing it. Am I enjoying FS25? Honestly, mate, I'm loving it. I really am. I know, I do fully appreciate that, in fact, just before I leave the field, very quickly, let me just make sure. Oh, you see, we can't have that, can we? Can't have that. There's a spot there, and there's a spot there. That's just vastly unacceptable. So, I'd hope I am going to be able to get that particular spot. Where are we? So, it's somewhere. I just need to roll, make sure the roller... Oh, there we go. That's it there. I can see you there. So, that's that bit got. Excellent. So, we can lift that up. And because we do now leave considerable tracks in our field, I'm going to run around the outside. Hang on a minute. Let me catch up here. Don't do a Kartek. That's what Kartek did. He nearly wet himself? Did he? He didn't. Surely. Giants have stand 11.280. Couldn't find... We're a bit closer to finding out where they are. They'll be easy to find though, Share, I'm sure. They will. It was quite a, it was quite an awesome stand that they had going last year, especially with the, where am I? Oh, it's right in front of us. There we go. With the competitive FARMERSIM playing on the stage. That is an amazing thing. It really is. Right, there we go. Done properly. Excellent. Job done. Oh, sorry, Mark. Right, I get you now. Right, yeah, I'm with you. You saw Mr. Seeley P. Yeah. Forgive me. It's yeah, I know what you mean now. I know what you mean now. You probably just run around all the holes shouting, "Ooh, nice!" until you found giants. Yeah. Well, that was. I know. We all experienced this. I know it was experience for me anyway last year. When you go there, and it'll be the same again this year, I guarantee it, because no doubt there'll be some pretty big machinery there. But scale of things, that was one of the of all the amazing things. That was one thing that took away from it. Being a player of the game, seeing the stuff in real life. Obviously, we've all seen tractors and stuff in real life, but when you're right up close to it, which isn't something I get a regular thing to do, you know, to stand next to a Fendt Ideal 10T and look up at it and go, oh my god, they're massive. Even small balers like this John Deere thing in the back here, you don't appreciate how big they are, and the scale of our character in game doesn't do it any justice. This here, my character's head is up to the corner of that thing there. In real life, that's twice the size, 3 times the size. It really is. It looks and feels really small here. But those wheels, I mean, they're gigantic in every sense of the word. Is Courseplay out yet, as well as Auto Drive? Not been on in a few as of New Year. Yes, mate. Don't call FSG big machinery. Yes, Courseplay and Auto Drive. Which one was it? There was one of them was released on Christmas Day, which was a hell of a Christmas gift, quite frankly, wasn't it? And the other one was released a couple of days prior to that, I think. But yeah, we have Courseplay and Auto Drive, mate. We do indeed. What am I doing? I'm just I'm not even using Auto Drive, but I'm on autopilot here, driving back to the shed. We need to do some lime spreading now. That's the next job to do. So we're going to use that one. We're not going to use the big Fent there because that's attached to the cultivator with its big double wheels on, ready to get cultivating. So we'll jump back in the white here and go back to the shed we've just been in. Go and get the lime spreader. We'll top up with lime. I think we have got, I want to say 5,000 something litres in there, but you know what lime's like, we're going to need a whole load more. So we need to go fill up. J-Mac, hello mate, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. Really appreciate that. I really do. Yep. We are here celebrating 8,000 subscribers, which is just incredible. It really is. Onwards and upwards and all that, though. We're still going to strive for more, as it were. Not being greedy, of course. I sit in a tractor every day almost, and comparing it to FS25, tractors are absolutely massive as well as equipment. Absolutely, mate. You were fueling your car a few weeks back when a tractor drove past hauling a New Holland square baler. That's a 2-storey house on wheels. Yeah, they really are. I saw one a couple of weeks back. In fact, funnily enough, it was a New Holland as well, towing the square baler. As Mrs. FS calls them, a bale pooper. But yes, sure enough, one of them was driving down the bypass. We do, because I live up in Cheshire here, so that I do have a handful of local farmers who regularly pass through the village. Now let me concentrate and remember what I've got to do here. Yeah, they pass through the village. We've got they've got a fleet of John Deere 6155Rs. Now they are in the game. If they were in the game, they'd be considered a small tractor, but they're not. They're massive. So it's, yeah, the scaling of things is, I mean, I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. I love the game. I love this game. I really do. I will never ever tire of it. But yeah, the scaling of things is, the scaling is off, let's just say. At certain times, especially compared to real life, it really is. So anyway, so we've just filled up. I didn't pay any attention then to how much money I've just spent, but we're gonna, I have actually, those of you who have been following the series, I have actually off camera, I've just paid back $200,000 of the loan, because I got the $3 million loan, spent everything, constructed everything, bought all the equipment that I felt I needed to get, and then I was left with 400k, so I figured I better pay at least some of it back. Right, so I need, what are we looking at here? Where am I going? Field 62, that's the one we need to lime. That's what we need to do. J-Mac, I just started my FarmView stream yesterday. Your FarmView stream? Is FarmView a map? Please tell me. I'm intrigued. Because we are shy on maps at the minute. There are a couple out there. I know that, but from a content creator's perspective, it's been a challenge, and I think that's why things are still quite low-key on the series side of things. I haven't ventured off. There's New Frontier, which is gorgeous, and I have been thinking about doing something on there. Right, let's kick this off, shall we? There we go. Where's my width at? Let's zoom out a bit so I can get my edges right, but I don't want to waste too much over the field edges. Yeah, it's been a difficult one getting started with FarmSim 25, because yes, the base game maps have generated a reasonable amount of interest, but with them being base game maps, I think some people aren't too bothered about them, and I'm kind of I'm on the fence with it. Riverbend, I think, is a gorgeous map. It really is. It is really immersive. It's really well detailed. It feels proper, if I'm honest, and that's why I'm doing my best to stick with this series for as long as I can. That reversing is diabolical, almost. So, let's get that up there. Turn it on there. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah, I really enjoy Riverbend. I really am. Even, you know, even with its quirks and its a few bugs here and there. It's, for a base game map, I think it's right up there as a properly good map. Just my personal opinion. Yes, 4X. Try Cheeky Badger or its German name, Freshdachs. Okay, Cheeky Badger. So where can we get Cheeky Badger from? Anyone? Is it a King Mods thing, or is it a? Because obviously it's not. We know it's not on the mod hub. Is this, and it's a 4X. Am I thinking of doing a survival series on Frontier, Andreas? Yeah, kind of. Obviously I don't want to give anything away or anything, but yeah, I was at a bit of a loose end one day, and I kind of jumped on for New Frontier because it is a gorgeous map. It really is. And I'm on I went on the forestry edition, so there was a lot more trees, and I built a house, and I started creating a field, and I just wanted to, I just you know, my creative juices were flowing a bit, and I kind of thought this would work, this could work as a bit of a survival series, but it's just a case of finding the creativity with it, because it's all very well starting a series. Well, Mr. FSG, good evening, mate. How you doing? Happy New Year to you, mate. Are you feeling better? Good to see you. Yeah, it's all very well starting a series for the sake of starting a series, but it can be very... Sometimes, I personally, I feel it can be very difficult sometimes to carry that series on if, as a content creator, if the views suddenly drop massively and all of a sudden nobody shows any interest, I feel it can be very difficult to carry that series on. But because you've already started that series, it's like, well, I can't just drop and stop and start things willy-nilly. It's like I've committed to it now, so I've got to do it, and it takes the time. You put the effort into creating the series, but nobody wants to watch it. So you're like, what do I do? You know, it's a difficult choice. So from a content creator's perspective, and I know any of you out there who are content creators, you'll understand that it's difficult to, at the beginning of this game, FARMERSIM 25, because we've only got a couple of maps really to go with, to suddenly start creating multiple series, isn't it? It's a tough one. It really is. So there we go. FSG, Happy New Year. Yeah, starting to feel human again. Congrats on the 8th. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. I really do. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. Hugh Jones, thank you very much, mate. That's very kind. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Appreciate that. With the £10 super chat. That's very, very kind, mate. Cheers, Techno. Sorry, mate. I missed that bit there. Thank you very much for joining us, pal. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Appreciate your time. We're actually going to do this in one hopper load, aren't we? There we go. I thought I'd be going back in two, because this, we all know how empty feels like to drink lime, but I suppose the massive capacity of this thing has helped somewhat, hasn't it? So there we go. There he is. Fuzz. Hello, mate. Awesomeness. Well done on the 8. Appreciate that, pal. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate your support, as always. Hope all's good with you. Hope all's good with you. Yeah. It's yeah, but on from your question earlier, Fuzz, yeah, the new graphics card is an absolute beast of a thing, quite frankly. I'm very happy with it. Well, I bloody well hope so, for how much it cost, but yeah, it's a good thing. Thank you very much. I'm happy with it, very much so. It can run the game turned up to 11, everything, apart from, like I said earlier, apart from editing the XML to display the LOD and view distances any higher than 200%, which I've, just for the purposes of not having to alter things too much, I've kept everything at 200%, but everything in the game is turned up to ultra, max, high, super, whatever, and it's perfect. Sits at 60 FPS all day long, which is brilliant. And we've just done that, so that's the liming done. So as for jobs on the farm, let's have a quick look now. So everything. Ooh, that can't have that. What's going on there? Can't have those little spots in the middle of the field, can we? That's just vastly unacceptable. Looking forward to Llama FSG, mate. We've got, that's a week today, isn't it? Another big day for all of us lot. Be careful using that spreader if you have crop destruction on, as it now destroys crop at growth stage 1 and you can't put narrows on it. Right, okay. Cheers for that, Mark. Appreciate that, mate. There we go. Where are we? Right, I've got that spot. There's one tiny little spot here for the sake of OCD. There was one minuscule little bit right at the edge of the field here. We can't have that, can we? Is that us? Ooh, how annoying. It's not getting it, but we'll have to call it that. You're on 3.5 all day on the Red Devil. Okay, nice. I did actually test it earlier on, to be honest. I was faffing around setting things up before and having a bit of a play. And I turned them up to 400%, and I came on here and I couldn't get anything. It was kind of hovering early to mid 50s, which is still decent, but anything less than 60, and mine, I can see the jerkiness in the smoothness of the gameplay, and I can't live with it. I can't deal with it. It drives me up the wall. So I turn that down to 200, and it just sits at 60, doesn't falter, which is what I need to keep me happy anyway. It sure is. Looking forward to, yeah, really looking forward to Llama next week, mate. It's all I'm going to ask is that I just hope this snow and ice goes away for the journey. I've just been out today. I've had four new tyres fitted to the car because my tyres were a bit rough, let's be honest. And sorry, trying to reverse and talk at the same time is a skill that I clearly lack. There we are. Yeah, I've just stuck some tyres on the car today for the sake of making the journey safely. I had a slow puncture on the front right, because I had a nail in it. I had a slow puncture on the rear left, which has been there for about 9 months. I've been pumping it up every week or so, putting a few PSI back into it. And I kind of thought, I'm going to Birmingham. It's going to be snow. It's the winter. Sort yourself out, sausage. So I went and got myself some new tyres. Yours throw at 3.3. Well, I know what you mean, Fuzz. But on this map has problems when it comes to FPS, and I just can't do it. So look at the tyre shine after a good wash there. It is a good looking tractor. I do like a big Fendt, and with this slightly different than normal Fendt petrol blue, it's a bit of a weapon, this, I've got to say. Love it. Is it OCD wanting to park straight in the garage? Yes, absolutely. It's just nice to have things neat and tidy. I mean, yes, yeah, I do like... There's something to be said about having, especially in the game anyway, when it comes to the decoration. And I've just realised I've not got traffic turned on from previously. Let's just sort that out. There's something to be said about having a nice farm that's got lots going on, and that have, you know, you've got some litter and detritus on your farms, you know, scrap metal and stuff like that lying around. But when it comes to your tools and your machinery, especially when you've just spent, what was it, about $200,000 on a nice new workshop, am I going to squeeze through that gap? Come on. Take the paint off that bus. Yeah, you've got to have it all nice. I've put the shelves in the workshop. A bit of clever construction placing. I managed to put the shelves along the back wall of the workshop, and I have placed... what are you doing there, sunshine? Look at that. Go on, Skoda. Off you go. With his overzealous overtaking. He tries to overtake and then gives up halfway through. If you're going to commit to it, mate, commit to it. Didn't wash it before you put it... Oh, no, didn't actually, did I? I washed them all before the stream. Because they were dirty. So I was like, I've got to wash everything before... Hang on, what am I lowering here? Wrong one. Cultivator. I gave everything a clean before the stream, but yes. But I do actually have... I've got the jet washers in the shed there with the machinery, so I don't have to go take it anywhere special to do it. I put the jet washer behind the central pillar between the two doors. because I didn't know. Did anyone else? In fact, I'll do it now just very quickly because when I first found this out. See, there's my jet washer. But I didn't know that in 25 you can start the engine and you can move the thing around. How awesome's that? You couldn't do that in 22, could you? So anyway, that's awesome. When I found that out, so I had one jet washer. It was down the hill there. So when your character's pushing it around, it doesn't half look like he's properly struggling, like he's pushing a mountain. So when I found that out, I put it in the shed. It was like, yeah, nice. How awesome's that? So yeah, but yeah, I didn't wash my tractors, did I? After using them, so now I've got mud on the floor of my workshop. Are we there? Darn Riverbends, but you'll be on others, even Frontier and third party. You'll be happy. Oh, don't get me wrong, mate. I've missed a bit there. That's shocking, isn't it? I'm not moaning. I love Riverbend. I think as for a base game map, I think Giants have really outdone themselves with this. I think it's the immersion that it's got, the detail in the map. I just really like it personally. I think it's really nice. But there's a couple of things on the map that I don't understand. I don't understand why they're there. It's the area restriction with the construction, especially on the plot of land that I bought. And I've said this before on my episodes, haven't I? But the placement of the fencing in places, it just doesn't let you place fencing. Why? No idea. Drives me nuts. So that was something that it shot my creativity down a bit when I had an idea of placing a really nice custom animal pasture all the way around that rock area, and I couldn't do it because the game wouldn't let me. Computer says no. So that was a bit annoying, but I figured something out anyway. I've missed a bit. Have I? Around the edge? Oh, there's nothing worse, is there? A tiny little bit. Right on the corner there. I'll get it on the way back. Yeah. Can't have that, can we? You couldn't do that in 22. Hey, hey, Landwolf, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Sorry, Mark, I'm late with the reply. Look at the bus driver is going, look at that with those tyres. What's wrong with my tyres? Tyres are awesome. I missed a big machine. I bought this tractor, and I do have the normal wide tyres purchased as well. But I wanted something with some big fat double wheels. I just did. I know there's no real proper necessity for it in the game, but come on. Come on. It's awesome. Devs, not gamers. I suppose, yeah. I suppose you're right in that respect, but apart from those couple of tiny things that I've found, and it's again, repeating myself, but there's something on this map that tanks FPS when you're in flight mode. I don't know what it is, but it's on this map. It's not on other maps. I tried Hoot and Pantai, running courseplay, jumping into flight mode, zipping around, trying to pretend I was making a cinematic, and it's smooth as butter. I tried the one of the mod maps. Forgive me, I've forgotten the name again. You mentioned it before, Dutch, but that one, smooth as butter. Dakota 4X, I tried that, running courseplay, flying around, smooth as anything. It's just this map for some reason, no idea why. Anyway, there we go. Oh, the bit I missed earlier, I've sorted it now. Right, nice. Cheers, Welsh. Cheers, mate. But I have actually missed a bit on this field as well, so I need to go catch that. Just a tiny bit along the edge. But if you're going to spend all this time doing this kind of stuff, you need to get all of it, don't you? To be honest. Just check the drop frames. Everything's looking good. There you are. Buzz members for 3 months. Has it been that long already, mate? There we go. I do appreciate your support, mate. Your continued unwavering support. It's very much appreciated. Devs, not testers. Hey up there, Olaf. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Good to see you. I can hear my gigantic dog barking in the background, so forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, if his massive mouth is appearing in the... Can you hear that? Garbindle. Thank you, Dutch. Thank you, mate. Yeah. That's a word that just doesn't stick in my mind. That it's a lovely map. Has anyone seen Garbindale? It's a really nice little map. I'm assuming it's a 1x, and I was actually just trying to get me bearings with it before, because Court Farms was a 1x. Obviously, we know straight this is a 1x. But Garbindale feels really, really small. I can't explain why. I'm assuming it's a 1x, but it feels tiny. And is there such? There's no such thing as a half X, is there? Oh, Fuzz, mate. Honestly, thank you, dude. That's very generous. Thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Absolute legend. Very kind, mate. Thank you. Thank you so much. Cheers, buddy. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, there's no. You can't get a smaller than a 1x, can you? But it just felt very, very small. But like I say, it's a beautiful map. Really nice and quaint. The starter farm's very nice. It's got some lovely textures on the brick and block work for your driveway. It's a 1x and it's his first map. Well, if it's his first map, honestly, we need to keep an eye on him, because he's that's a talent. It really is. And like I said before, we've got FARMERSIM Briscoe's working on Saxlingham. That looks like a very, very nice map. He's a talented map maker. Is FARMERSIM Briscoe. I loved the Oaks. I really loved the vintage Oaks. That was back on 22. That was a special map for me. But yeah, Saxlingham, from what he posted a short video with a few cinematic shots of him driving around on the actual map a few days back. Really, really nice looking map, I've got to say. You can have a half X, basically not using the whole 2 km by 2 km space. There were a few tiny maps in 22. Is that right, mate? I didn't appreciate that. Interesting. But yeah, Garbindale, when I was flying around there before, it's probably me. It was just me being completely off, but it just felt very small. And then I started to remember what it was like when you jump into flight mode and zip across Court Farms. That felt massive. It really did. Some were quite good. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't recall. I might have seen one. I'm not too sure. I don't recall ever playing on a half times map. But I must admit, though, I'm thirsty for a 4X now. Because of the age I am. Me saying that, I'm now thinking of the Australians wouldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else. That's what's going on in my head. But yeah, I'm thirsty for a 4X. I do that. It's the perfect size map for me. That for how I like to play, and size-wise, and getting your teeth into auto drive and making a gigantic, selfish auto drive route around the map. Some nice big fields and big tractors. You started a map you will never finish. It's a 16x. Did you, mate? Have you? You started a for 22, Mark. Finish it, Mark, says Dutch. Yeah, come on, what are you doing? Pull your finger out, sunshine. I'm joking. There is something that, yeah, I do like a 16x as well, though. You've got to appreciate the enjoyment of a massive map. Which, actually, thinking about it, talking about massive fields and maps and things, our good friend FSG in the chat here, you're not far off 100,000 subscribers now, are you, sir? I think I remember reading somewhere, was it in you a couple of days ago, are you just about 800 shy of 100,000 subscribers now, mate? 100,000 subscribers. I mean, that's more than, what's the capacity of Old Trafford? Trying to think. I'm not much of a football fan, but you have a day job. No, I appreciate that, mate. I know that, but yeah, 100,000 subscribers. That's more than a football stadium, isn't it? That's mental. It really is. Not going to be long now before that's there, mate. But yeah, sorry. What I was going to say was, is that thing still in the pipeline for about 800 to go? There you go. Wow. Wow. That's awesome, mate. It really is. Massive congrats. I mean, The channel speaks for itself, mate. It really does. Supreme farm sim content. It really is. Well, you've been ill, mate. What can you do? Life gets in the way. But needless to say, it's not like you're going to disappear off the face of the planet, is it? We all get ill. You've got to get the time off to get better. Especially at Christmas as well. At Christmas and New Year, it's the worst time to get ill, isn't it? Cher was just saying before, she's had flu all over Christmas and New Year, so it's just the worst time for it, isn't it? Old Trafford, that manure. Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not a football fan. I'm not siding with anyone there. It's just because of where I am. That's the first. I don't know. What's the other one? What's City's ground called? It was. I can't remember the name. I can't remember for thinking. Can I? What's the name of Man City's ground? Oh goodness. Oh, I think it's the Etihad now, isn't it? But even that's not quite... Is that 100,000? I've got no idea. But 100,000 people, anyway. It's a lot of people. But yeah, sorry. I'm diverting again. When you do hit 100,000, was it the giant potato field thing? Is that still happening? I know there was a lot of prep going into that. You going to call it in, Fuzz? No worries, mate. Really appreciate your time, mate, and your generosity as well with your super chat. Thank you, mate. I really do appreciate your support, your constant support, mate. Appreciate it. You'll be there soon, don't you worry. I don't know about soon. Let's yeah, take things day by day. But 8,000 subs though, I'm very happy with where the channel's got to now. I'm so grateful to all of you, every single one of you who viewed, liked, commented, subscribed. And become part of my little corner of the farm sim community here. It's wonderful and I adore it. I really do. This is one of the best things I've ever done. It really has. It really is. I love it. I love doing it. That's one of the main things when it comes to doing something, is enjoying it, isn't it? And I enjoy massively making these videos. I absolutely adore it. I look forward to it every day when I make a video. I look forward to thinking about when I'm not playing it. I'm sitting there downstairs and my mind's all over the place, thinking, what's going to be my next video? How am I going to do it? How am I going to approach it? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Constantly taking on board the advice I was given by a certain Mr. the Farm Sim guy way back when I started this whole venture. I nervously sent him an email, didn't I, mate? I sent you an email asking for your opinions, and I linked you to my channel, and I think I'd made like one video, a cinematic. Funnily enough, I spent months making it, and I just wanted some advice from someone who knew what they were talking about, and you were surprisingly very complimentary, and you gave me some wonderful advice, which I have, funnily enough, and this is it's the, I don't know what you call it, the full circle thing. I'm now being asked for advice. Can you believe that ridiculous notion? I've literally today I've been asked. People, I put a post out on the community thing saying, 8,000 subs, thank you, and all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much, and all that stuff. And Farmer King George, he asked for my advice on how to do what we're doing and carry on. And I have no. I literally said to him, I didn't use any names, of course, but I literally said I can only give you the best advice, and that was the advice I was given way back when I started doing this myself, and it was, quality over quantity, consistency, and a few other pointers. And I've done my very best, my utmost over these last couple of years, to try and stick to that as best as I can. And I did actually heed that advice today, because I did actually have another video planned for tonight, and it was an auto drive tutorial, but it was over an hour long, and I thought, no, And when I watched it back, I started watching it back, and I realised that it was actually the first 25 minutes were almost... Ooh, missed a bit there. Were almost a mirror image of the auto drive video I did the other day when it first came out, just like a bit of a showcase video. And I was like, no, you tool. I can't do that. I can't release a video that's half and half the same as another video, but rambles on for an hour. So I had to completely change my approach and think, right, I'm not uploading that. I need to... It's a difficult one, auto driving course play. I tip my hat to anyone who can make any kind of a tutorial series or video, even at a beginner's stage, especially for auto drive, because it's really complicated. And to be able to whittle that down into a bite-sized chunk for someone to watch and not go, this guy's rambling on, I'm bored, stop watching. That's a real talent that I firmly believe I have yet to achieve, and that's hence why I need to give myself a bit of a shake and think about what I do. It was an hour and 4 minutes long, for God's sake. So I thought, no, I need to reapproach this. That's me for this evening. Time to get ready for work. Congrats to 8,000 subs, FARMERSIM. Have a great stream and evening. Andreas, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate your time. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us, mate. You take care, mate, and enjoy the rest of your day. I think I'll be messaging you. I don't. Well, let's not. I don't think so, FSG. You're not that far out of it, mate. You've had a well. The main thing is, mate, I hope you're better. That's all that matters. There's nothing worse than being ill, especially when it's. I think by the sounds of things, it's clearly wiped you out for a bit, hasn't it, mate? Whatever it is that you've had, I hope you're over it now. There is nothing worse. Cheers, Fuzz. Nice one, mate. Old Trafford is a football stadium with a capacity of 74,310. There you go, FSG. You've got more than Old Trafford. Your cinematics are great, mate. No surprise that you're being asked for advice. Well, I mean, thanks, Martin. That's very kind, mate. I really appreciate that. It's lovely to hear these things. It's reassuring, it's confidence inspiring, it's confidence boosting, and that's one of the many wonderful parts of this journey. Do you know what what this has done for me up here is quite frankly priceless. It's hardened me up, especially when you're having to accept that you're always going to get a negative comment now and again. Fortunately, it doesn't happen often, thankfully. But now and again, when I've had, I think in the 2 years that I've done, and I think if I remember correctly, I'm now, this video will be my 302nd video in 2 years. And I think in total, I've probably had about 5 negative comments. Maybe 6, possibly, I think. No word of a lie, roughly about 6. Like, properly negative comments where you read it and you go, huh, bugger, you know, it proper hits you and it knocks you for 6. It really does. It did for me anyway. It took, you know, now and again it might have taken me a couple of days just to absorb what that negative comment might have said and toughen myself up to the reality that, look, we're making content on a wonderful game for a wonderful community, but we are posting videos to the whole internet, essentially. Yes, it's within the confines of Farming Simulator, but the reality is every single human being with an internet connection who types in a particular combination of letters into their YouTube search bar can find your video. You know, do you know what I mean? It's any single human being on the planet can find your video. So you have to be open to criticism, which is right. I get that. You can't please everybody. You can't make a video to please every single person. But it's all very well saying that, but until you get that negative comment where you've really upset someone, or you've done or someone just really doesn't like the tone of your voice, because at the end of the day, this is the reality of human beings, isn't it? My voice might really annoy somebody, and I might really annoy somebody just by being me. So naturally, they might find the motivation to pick up their keyboard and go and type a whole load of horrible stuff to you, and it's like, you need to be... So anyway, sorry, long waffle, but yeah, it's hardened me to these kind of things, but it's done wonders for me up here, mental health wise, being part of this community, making friends, having regular communication. Discord, I mean, Christ, that's a full-time job in itself, even at my tiny little level. Responding to all the wonderful messages and friend requests and this, that and the other, and managing the thing. God damn it, Discord, managing I still haven't got a clue what I'm doing. But it's still wonderful, do you know what I mean? And I've loved and continue to love every single aspect of this journey. It's wonderful. So there we go. Long talk there. Just watched the new vid from FSG on Autodrive. Impressive. The new side route edition is a huge bonus combined with courseplay. Side route? Ooh, what's the new side route, Eamon? Is this a new feature in the latest version of Autodrive? Good job I did cancel my tutorial, because I haven't got a bloody clue, it would seem. Are we talking about side roads, or are we talking about... is this something completely separate? I need to watch that video, actually, FSG, quite clearly. You're always going to get haters or people with something negative to say, ignore them and keep moving. Absolutely, well, thankfully, it doesn't happen often, thankfully. It happens very, very... well, like I say, I've had 5 or 6 in 2 years across 300 videos, so it's all good, but it's just... they never get you at the right time. You might be in a very nice place, you might be having a lovely day, you might be really feeling really positive. The video I might have released the day before might have had a really nice amount of views, so I'm feeling really happy and positive that what I've made is entertaining people, and the lovely comments that you get back, and then you get that one comment just at the wrong time that says blah 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 blah, and it's like, oh, and you just go, and you just feel a bit crap for a while. That's the reality of it. Side roads. Okay, so it's not a new feature then, is it? Side where you make the yellow lane instead of the green, or the yeah, you press shift and record to create a side road. So that now I've always, this is how I've always determined what a side road is on Autodrive. A side road is a route that Autodrive won't use unless it has to. Am I right? That's how I've always approached the understanding of a side road. If you plot a route, Autodrive, I think by default, will try and find its shortest route to the destination you've set it to. If there's a side road within that as a possibility for it to take a shortcut, it won't use that side road and it'll stick to the green, I think. A third yellow line course that could be used for parking trucks, trailers, for working with combines, etc. I feel it's brilliant. Don't believe it was available. If it is something new, Eamon, then that's awesome, because Autodrive is just, it's one of my absolute must-have mods along with courseplay. But if it's side roads, that was in 22. Definitely was in 22. And again, it's as obviously being an avid user of Autodrive and courseplay, I always tend to make my field entrances and exits side roads, so that if you send a vehicle on a mission somewhere, and just so that it doesn't use the field exit and entrance points and turn around in a field to make a journey shorter. So I'll map out the whole road network as green, and then all the field in and outs will be side roads. All the side roads will be side roads, either two-way or single-way, whichever determines by the width of the lane itself. But yeah, they've been in 22, Eamon, the whole time. I think. But it wasn't. I don't think it was a very widely known fact about the side roads, to be fair, because it was a case of holding shift down and record. MTK Sim Farmer, greetings from Finland. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hope all's good over in Finland. That's the fella, the yellow lines. Is that different from secondary roads? I don't think so, Dutch. I think if we're talking about the same thing in Autodrive, it's you've got the main road, which is green. Well, I can bring up my Autodrive here. So you've got the main type of main lane, which is highlighted in a green line. You can then record. Let's just do it quickly here. So, goddamn mouse. So if I hold shift and record there, that brings up a yellow node there, and then if I drive forward, that's going to record a side, that's a side road, and you can make that two-way, or as it is here, one-way. You can record, if you hold shift and press right click, that's now a side road in two-way form. And you've got the green line, and then you've got the blue line for the main two-way course. Sounds about right, doesn't it? I think. Auto drive is a must. First mod with courseplay on any new map save. Wasn't aware of it until I watched the video. Yeah, auto drive and courseplay, mate. They are a mighty duo of mods. They really are. What they can do automation-wise is wonderful. Right, let's get rid of that for a start. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about auto drive. It's what I use when a new map comes out, and I really want to dive in and get my teeth into a new map. Auto drive is the first thing I'll do, because I will, if I know that I'm going to want to play a map and put a lot of time into it, I will record as much of an auto drive as I can. But what it'll do, recording an auto drive course allows you to explore a map. So I'll want to take my auto drive network as far and wide as I can on a map, and it gives you the opportunity to explore it nice and slowly. Because I this is a painful thing, and again, it's an OCD thing. Because I play with a control pad, recording an auto drive course when you're at like 32 miles an hour in a fast tractor on a road, with the toggles like that, it can be, you can make your road as you're recording one touch on the toggle when you're going fast, and you've got a wiggly line. So it's like, so if I want to record the perfect auto drive network, I dial the cruise control down to about 12 miles an hour. And I'll record the whole auto drive at 12 miles an hour on a 4X map. Can you imagine? It's, after a while, when you sit in it, I'll put music on, I'll keep myself entertained while I'm doing it, but I'm still enjoying taking in the map around me. But I'm also appreciating the fact that I know in my mind the auto drive network is absolutely bang on. So it's perfectly straight where it's perfectly straight. There's no wiggles, there's no, oh, it slightly goes off here. Dead straight or perfectly round a corner, because 12, 13, 14 miles an hour with the toggles allows me to make sure that all the bends and the corners are dead nice and smooth. So it's not like it would be on a keyboard where you've got W, A, S and D to just suddenly go left or right or dead jerky like that. Do you know what I mean? So most of my auto drive networks, I'm proud of the fact that they're all as smooth and as neat as can be. Yeah. Proper geek, I am. By far the best mods to step up from console to PC for you. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Hi from New Zealand. Forgive me, Kiwi Sim Farmer. Didn't mean to miss your message then. Hello from New Zealand. Welcome, mate. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope all's good for you, mate, over in New Zealand. Did you know auto drive lets you set the max speed per vehicle? I did indeed, Bitcaps. Yeah, you can you use the mouse wheel on the number there, don't you, and just scroll it up or down. There you go. So you can this is a mod, this tractor, and by a modder called Hans. It's on the mod hub. It's a beauty. But this has a top speed of 41 miles an hour. So it's a bit of a whop at this. You got a third monitor for Christmas, mate. Now when me and Mrs. SG go live, I can have you both on 2 screens. Nice work, mate. You can't beat being surrounded in monitors, if I'm honest. I've got, well, 6. 9, including the 3 that are on the floor down there that I'd love to be able to put up, but I can't because I'm moving house. But yeah, when we finally got ourselves moved, from the house move thing in a might be about a year's time. We're temporarily going to go and bunk in with my mum for a bit while we sort a few things out. But the house we're in at the minute, it's literally just sold. The sold sign went up a couple of days ago. So when me and Mrs. FS sort ourselves out permanently, I shall be making the ultimate of man caves. And I've got that monitor, that monitor, that monitor, that monitor, a big 42-inch there. I've got that's a 42, that's a 28, and I've got 3 24s on the floor. and these other 3 are 24. So I'm making myself the ultimate bat cave. Up a wall of monitors. For no reason other than because the level of want is too high. You're nice and warm, Kiwi Sim Farmer. That's I'm nice and warm in here at the minute, I've got to say, because the heating's on. But outside, it is Baltic. It's about, I think it's hovering around the 0. Yeah, it's very, very cold here in the Shire today in Britain. You use the built-in corner make option when you do intersections, makes the cornering almost perfect. Absolutely, Dutch. Yes, that built-in corner function for auto drive is a godsend. It is very good. It can be a bit finicky at times, and it's, I think, in my experience, I found it's perfect for most things. If you wanted to, if you were using big long lorries, trucks, for example, it can sometimes be a bit difficult. But I know that you can overstretch the corner. You can make it swing out a bit. But I must admit, I've found there's no substitute for doing them bang on manually. That's just me. Most of the time. And I realised that there are a couple of very, very tiny bits somewhere over here that I have missed. Where were they? Oh, there's one. Tiny little bit there. I think there's a bit on the edge of the field, and there was a little bit sticking out there. Can't have that now, can we? There's that. Let me just make sure that so far what I've done... Good Lord! There's a big bit there that I've missed. There's a bit there. There's a bit there. There's a whole bit next to me there. What a slapdash job I have done there. Now that many monitors is OCD. I mean, it's not an OCD thing, Mark. Not this thing. This is just me wanting the Batcave. I just want monitors. I've got them, and I can't get those weeds. Why did I not get those weeds? That's unacceptable. Is that a weed? Is that even counting as a weed? No, it's not. Right, okay. Sorry, I'm just clearing up the bits that I've missed before I carry on with getting that central bit finished. Yeah, it's just the thing I've always wanted. I mean, I'm sat in front of 4. These are all connected to the computer. The 4K and these 324s here are all part of the, you know, I've got YouTube over there, I've got OBS there. That's a redundant screen that's just got a desktop picture on it that I can put stuff on if I needed. And I've got the 4K one in the middle, but I'm going to redo them again. I've got 3 matching, because I used to run, when I first found Farming Simulator back in 19, I used to run it in an iFinity setup. So I ran the whole game in one big wide multiple monitor setup, and it was amazing. I couldn't do it this is why I had to stop doing that to do the YouTube thing, because my resolution was 5760 by 1080, if I remember correctly, across the 3 monitors. So it made the experience amazing, but I wouldn't have been able to do that for YouTube, because who the bloody hell watches a video in 5760 by 1080? It would have been like watching through a letterbox. Right, have I got all the bits I've missed now? That's apart from that bit there. Right, we'll get that bit after. So yeah, so I had to accept that if I was going to do YouTube, I needed to single up on the monitors, and one 24-inch monitor for me was just wholeheartedly unacceptable. So hence why I play and record on the 32 that I've got here, and then 24, 24, 24. But I've got the old 24s just leaning neatly against each other under the desk here for future endeavours. My computer can't even run all of them. I'm gonna have to get another computer to plug those 3 into. But yeah, there you go. You're a monitor nerd too, FSG. Good man. Did the distortion on the outer monitors not drive you mad? I wish they do. No, I didn't have any distortion on the outer monitors, mate. There was no distortion at all running the 3 monitors. I had on the 8, because I was running at the time. It was well, by today's standards, it was a relatively incapable graphics card, but it was a what was it? It was a 4 GB AMD Sapphire Radeon thing, but it had 3 HDMI outputs, and through the AMD Radeon graphics, I was able to... It had a thing called iFinity, which was turn the all 3 monitors into one monitor, and it also had bezel support. So I was able to... You were able to cancel out where the bevel... It's got... all the monitors have as narrow a bezel as I could get at the time. I'm talking, I want to say maybe, what, 5-6 mil on each side of the monitor, so between the 2 monitors. And they were all on a proper rack. I've got that rack upstairs as well. So it wasn't just 3 individual monitors. They were all mounted on a proper big rack, with 1 foot in the middle. So collectively, between the monitors, they maybe had 10-12 mil of bezel to compensate for, but the bezel compensation worked perfectly, and there was no skewing, there was no distortion at the edge of the screen. It looked, for all intents and purposes, it was wonderful. They could have been done with being bigger monitors, but yeah, it worked really, really well, and it was great for other games as well. Like, that's how I played everything, and it worked. But that's, funnily enough, that's how I found Farming Simulator. I've been a keen gamer for years. Grand Theft Auto, all the not iRacing, it was Project Cars, I think I've got on here. That was good on the 3 monitors. Grand Theft Auto, Dead Space, Borderlands, all of those games that I used to play the living hell out of. I just got sick of them because I wanted a more peaceful, relaxed game. I was getting sick of shooting people in the face and being shot in the face and crashing cars. I just wanted this relaxing thing, and I found a game called Agricultural Simulator, and I was like, oh, this is for me. This is perfect. It's just tractors and soil and plows and combines. Wicked. But the game didn't support iFinity, so I couldn't play it on my big stupid monitor setup. And then I found FARMERSIM, because I was trying to find a game that was like Agricultural Simulator. Did anyone else just get like... I'm sorry, I've just looked on my YouTube video there, the YouTube feed, and there was the screen just went proper grey and glitched there for a minute. Did anyone else get that? Is that happening at your end, or is that just something at my end? Everything here is perfect. Excellent connection. 0 dropped frames, but I just saw in the corner of my eye the screen went bleh. Did that happen for you guys viewing the video or not, or is that just something at my end? Please tell me. You were running through NVIDIA and it stretched the outer screens. Ah, okay, interesting. I'd always have assumed that NVIDIA were, of the 2, NVIDIA were the slightly better graphics cards, maybe. Even though I've always, I mean, I've got an AMD now. I've got a 24 gig HellHound, I think it's called. The box is down there. RX 7900 XTX HellHound. It happened there too. Oh, damn! There was a glitch. Well, that's interesting because it wasn't on my game. It just appeared there on the feed. I wonder what could be causing that then. Interesting. Well, I am very sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. Can't have that. That's vastly unacceptable. But I'll try and figure out what that was for the future. No, okay, thanks, guys. Yeah, no, yeah, that was clearly part of the feed. So, I wonder what could be causing that then. There's always something, isn't there? Playing around with all this technology. Everything's fine from this end. There's no. Usually, if my bit rate is too low, YouTube tells me. Or if it's too high, it tells me. I get a dropped frame, it tells me. But no, everything's tickety-boo. ONT Tools, hi from Preston, Lancashire. You're literally a few miles away from me, mate. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm just getting the bits that I've missed there. My best mate lives up in Preston, actually. Just not far from Garstang. He's coming down to see me on Saturday, actually. Speaking of Saturday, actually, I've got another little interesting bit of something that's happened in the last couple of days. I've been asked to do an interview by a fellow YouTube content creator for Farming Simulator. Can you believe it? I was thoroughly taken aback by this. I was contacted by a YouTuber called BDD Gaming. He's an American. He's based over in Florida, I believe. Now, I'm sure a few of you out there, content creators especially, will know the name Dust Bunny. We all know Dusty, a good friend of mine, viewer, channel supporter, and all that. She's a viewer of BDD Gaming, and he's basically starting a new series where he's basically, it's like, I suppose it's not a podcast, but it's a bit of a, I think it's more of a podcast approach in that it's not actual gameplay, but it's just more talking kind of thing. And he got in touch with me. Dust Bunny had given him a few suggestions of some content creators for him to contact, and he got in touch with me and said, would he be able to do an interview with me and ask some questions and basically talk about a lot of farm sim stuff essentially. But I was bowled over with humbleness. So of course I said yes, because I mean, I've never been interviewed in my life apart from job interviews years ago. But I mean, how cool is that? So Saturday night, I believe it's going to be UK time. It's going to be about 6:30. I will be posting a link in my Discord. I haven't got a link to anything just here right now, but I'll be posting a link via the everyone tag over on Discord on Saturday afternoon, early evening time. So if you are at a loose end and you fancy listening to me and him, BDD Gaming, babbling on for a while, then by all means, please feel free to join us. The video will be over on his channel. But yeah, how exciting is that? How crazy is that? It's another wonderful aspect and part of this incredible journey. It's probably to do with the fire in LA where YouTube is. Oh, that's a good point. It was so intermittent, though. I think I'm hoping it's only happened once. Those of you who have been on the stream now this evening for a little while, you have only seen that once. I'm hoping. I really do hope. Grumpy Grey Farmer, you're using an AMD Radeon 16 gig and you haven't had any issues with graphics at all. That sounds like a pretty capable graphics card, mate. Yeah, I think FarmSim minimum requirements does require an even lesser card, gigabyte side, power-wise, whatever. I think, I want to say 4 or 8. But so yeah, I'm not surprised that your graphics card will cope at 16 gig, mate. That's not working it very hard at all, I don't think. Which is what you want, really, don't you? Martin Feller, all right, time to sign off. Glad to catch the stream and put a face to the voice. Thank you, mate. Congrats on 8,000 subs and have a good one. Martin, thank you very much for your time, mate, with us this evening. Good to see you. Thank you very much for your support. YouTube, yeah, do you know what, Steve? I'd like to blame it on YouTube server lag, because that means it's got nothing to do with anything over here. The quality of my videos is really, really important to me. And my live streams, I've not done many live streams. I've done a few back in 22 and up into now, but my internet connection was a big bottleneck. My understanding of setting it all up was, I mean, everything's a learning curve. I'm never going to stop learning, especially when it comes to this stuff, and I love that part about it. But getting this lot set up, getting OBS set up and all that, I'm now able to, because of my graphics card, I'm now able to play, record and stream in 4K. I've got everything set up, plus my super stupid fast internet connection, plus just like, well, a couple of years of experience of just mucking around with this stuff and getting things right. I now know that I've got my quality to an acceptable standard from my on my live stream side of things anyway, because my old live streams back in 22, and from my perspective, it was like watching videos through a potato. It was awful, and I hated it. Is there a reason you don't use auto drive on fields, Operatic? I do, mate. I use Courseplay on my fields almost all the time, but for the purposes of the live stream tonight, I'm doing things manually by hand on my own, because I think it's the right thing to do. Ordinarily, when I'm making my usual videos, my series, I like to present my fieldworks occasionally in cinematic form. So Courseplay and Auto Drive are vital parts of that. I can set Auto Drive and Courseplay off doing their own thing, and I can jump into flight mode and whiz around filming it and making it look all arty-farty. So yeah. If that was your field, I'd be worried about compaction each end due to the crossing from side to side each pass. Yes, I know. Especially with the visual compaction now in the game. I was just yearning for I know that the big wide double wheel tractor is relatively unnecessary. I appreciate that, but I just wanted one. I hadn't really properly used one for ages, and I had a yearning for some big equipment. And even though this map doesn't necessarily need and require proper big equipment, I wanted something. So when I got my $3 million loan a couple of episodes ago, oh, Welsh, mate, thank you so much. That's very kind with the 5 gifted memberships. That's very kind, Welsh. Thank you, mate. Honestly, really appreciate your kindness and your support, mate. Thanks, man. That's awesome. It really is. We're actually not far off being done this, and actually this has actually taken, it will have taken us roughly, when I have completed this whole task. I thought I'd be having to dive into some contracts, because I thought the list of jobs that I had set aside for this evening, rolling my big custom field, liming 62, cultivating this and feeding my cows, I kind of thought that wouldn't take too long, but here we are now at 1 hour 52 minutes, not far off finished. Pretty decent. There we go. Absolutely, Mark. Cheers, Welsh. Absolute legend, mate. Really appreciate you. Really do. But yeah, so we're not far off being done this one. That's awesome. In fact, before we do finish it off, so we've got, yeah, there's still a couple of tiny spots that I've missed, so we'll make sure that is 100% done. And then what I think we might do, actually, although it's 9:30 in the morning, I don't like wasting game time. It's 9:30 in the morning, and I was thinking, who do we now could do with fast forwarding time into April, because then April that'll see the next growth of the next growth stage of the grass, but it still won't be ready to cut. So I think, I could do with, well, I suppose I need to have a think. That was one of the things that I was conscious of before doing tonight's live stream, because this is my save, my map. This is where I make my series on Riverbend, so I was conscious about not trying to mess anything up for the forthcoming episodes in the series, kind of thing. So I do want to be mindful of that, as it were. So there we go. That's almost done. This is an awesome cultivator as well. It's a new brand that we've had in FARMERSIM 25. No BGA to feed. Can tell it's 25, not 22. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. I am looking forward to Disturbed's mini BGA that he had for 22. Now, this is just all soil compaction now, isn't it? Running around this field. There she is, Dusty. Hello, mate. I was talking about you before, actually. Were your ears burning? Is that why you've come to the stream? I brought you up into conversation, mate, because I was talking about BDD Gaming. You know, who you recommended to my name to the other day. Well, I'm doing an interview with him on Saturday. Thanks to you. So if you're around, Dusty, on Saturday night, it's 6:30 my time. BDD is based in Florida, and I think he said it was 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. his time. He's in Florida. So what time would that be for you in Arkansas? What was I saying? I mentioned you because you were the very kind person who suggested my name to BDD Gaming about this interview thing, and he contacted me, and we are now doing that interview on Saturday night, mate. Oh, he's not making it, is he not, Mark? Are we talking about Disturbed here in that mini BGA? Is he not doing it anymore? Or one of the 1,450 mods in waiting? Yeah. Oh, that was... Oh, yeah, that was some rubbish news as well. Did anyone else notice the news from Elite Farming the other day as well? That the Richard Weston trailer pack ain't coming back. I'm properly gutted about that. It was apparently it's due to some kind of copyright thing or something. And I was like, what? No way. I was honestly properly excited for the return of those trailers. They were my favourite trailers in 22. And as soon as they were around for this, I was going to be getting some on here. Even though I suppose they're not technically US correct, are they? But there's a certain amount of not bothered that needs to be... or would have been anyway. You have an alarm set, you're hoping to be there 12:30 PM. Right, okay. So yeah, but hopefully that, I mean, it's a properly amazing, humbling, another humbling thing to be asked to do an interview by somebody. Last time you spoke to him, maybe we need to talk to him at Llama. Yes, I'm going to have words. No, of course not. But I loved that mini BGA of his. I really did. Oh, goodness me. Look at that. Is shambolic. But I can't see the bits that I've missed. I'm trying to keep nice and low, but the patches... Oh, there you are. Got you. You little swine. You're right in between my tracks there. So that's that patch. So we've got that bit there. Can't leave spots across the field, can you? Right. So... there's that bit. We're going to head straight up to another bit here. Where are you? Directly in front and to the right a bit. We need a mini. We do need a mini BGA, mate. We need one because I was on about buying the one for on this map as well the other day when I was expanding my farm. I thought, should I buy the BGA? And then when I saw the $1.9 million price tag, I said, no, we won't buy this BGA. Where's this piece of weed? Right next to me. Right next to me. Come on. Does anyone else do this? I'm not the only one who does this, surely. When you've finished the job, you look to your map, you see that the thing's got spots all over it. Some kind of acne-ridden teenager. And you've got to go round and clear it all up. You've just spent, what? How much have I spent? About 45 minutes doing this job. There we go. Oh, hang on a minute. What am I missing here? If Mr. Disturbed is going to be at Llama, please try to talk to him into doing the mini BGA. I love that mod. Shared that sad news on Scroff's Discord as well, and it got a really BS and rude response. Really? Is that just from a randomer being annoyed that... I mean, let's be honest. There's things worth getting annoyed about. I know it's upsetting that Elite's Richard Weston pack isn't, by the sound things, going to be making it to 22. But I mean, we don't need to get rude or offensive to anyone, do we? It is what it is. Disturbed gets upset when his mobs get... Well, I understand mods getting pirated. Yeah, I get that. That makes perfect sense. I think there's a lot of modders who get annoyed when their months, weeks, and years times worth of hard work just gets pirated and shared where it shouldn't be shared, and butchered around with, and then shared again so that other people get the butchered copies when it's not right and doesn't work properly. I completely get that. That's absolutely fine, but I believe that obviously I have no idea why Disturbed has decided not to do, because I'm sure I do remember him saying in a post a while ago that he was working on his mini BGA, but obviously with Elite's Richard Weston pack, it's oh goodness me, sorry Mr. Look at that. I love the fact that yes, it was entirely my fault that I pulled out on that delivery driver there. Entirely my fault, even though I'd have written his van off if he crashed into my great big tractor. But then the the attitude of the overtake. He proper puts his foot down and overtakes me as if he was beeping his horn, going, you know, giving a bit of road rage hanging out of his window. It's awesome. Don't remember his name. He wasn't rude to me, but he was. Oh, really? Well, that's vastly unacceptable. See, that's entitlement. That, yeah, I think that's wrong, and that's just an occasional kind of thing that I suppose dealing with people on the internet you're going to have to get. And I've seen it on Facebook in posts on groups, on modders groups on Facebook. Custom modding. We all know custom modding. They make some of the most wonderful mods for Farming Simulator, whether it's 19, 22 or 25. I know they've got a few exciting things in the pipeline. But over on their Facebook page, weeks and weeks ago, someone just randomly posted, can you please convert all your mods from 22 to 25? They said something like, I'm ready for them now. And it was like, that's not real, is it? You can't surely, in all good faith, post that in a group. There's got to be some jest to it. But apparently no, it was genuine. Someone was just so entitled in their post that they just expected and didn't appreciate the massive amount of work that goes into just even converting a mod, let alone making a mod from scratch. The 3D modelling, the rendering, all that kind of stuff is amazing. The amount of the work that goes into mods. It's wonderful. It really is. Here we go. Cleaning up my stuff. Giving everything a wesh. Bullet Bell says he won't release anything because of the S. Yeah. No, I've seen a few of BB's posts on Facebook, Mark. Yes, I know he. Yeah. That's so uncalled for. If you don't like something, don't use it. But no need to badden. Well, that's right, Dusty. It really is, and unfortunately, I believe, you know, Elite Farming, who was the modder of the Richard Weston pack back in 22, my favourite pack of trailers, for a very legitimate reason, for some kind of copyright reason, he's now unable to bring that back to FARMERSIM 25, even though he'd posted a few days prior that he was hoping to bring it back to 25, but now he can't. And that's a damn shame. And he posted that on his page yesterday or the day before. But for people to negatively respond to him wherever they did that on Discord, as if he'd done something on purpose, like it's his fault, or he's doing something on purpose, or he's choosing not to release those mods, and someone's got so wound up about it that they felt the urge to write something like that, is just, it's just wrong on so many levels. That's the thankfully very few and far between negative interactions that certain people have with people on the internet within the FARMERSIM community, I think. I hope I'm right in saying that. It's going to happen. It's the reality of the world, isn't it? The world we live in today, where people feel that they can say horrible things like that behind the security of their computer screen or phone or whatever device it is they're using. But yeah, we don't do that here, do we, ladies and gentlemen? We're all good here. Sadly, the world is slowly getting more and more entitled. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, mate. Mark, absolutely, mate. 6 points of my license for that, was it, mate? I think, to be fair, there's 9 points, really. The shocking state of that driving, let's be honest. There we go, look at that. We've got to have a nice, neat, shiny garage. Lovely. There we go. That's a pity his mods were good, but comments like AMD to people that do his work for the community are completely unacceptable. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. I think knocking on the door just over 2 hours, I think, is a reasonable length of time to have a go at the live stream and the 8,000 subscriber celebration. Honestly, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Thank you all for your generosity as well, for your gifted memberships and for your super chats. I really appreciate that. It's just another testament just to the wonderfulness that is this community. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for the lovely chat and everyone coming to play. It's always the loud man. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is what annoys me. They hide behind the keyboard, but whenever it's in real, well, that's the thing, mate. And this is just the reality of the modern world we live in, isn't it? These avenues where people, you know, we've got these online spaces where people are free to type what they want. If what can you do? You can't control everything like that, can you? But like Mark says there, 99% of the community is great. It's the 1% who spoil it for the rest. No, you're absolutely right, mate. They don't. Well, let's be honest. They're not spoiling it. They've everyone else makes it the wonderful thing that it is. They've tried to spoil it. They've tried to say something negative. But we all know not to tell them to sod off, basically. Absolutely, Dust Bunny. Thank you, mate. Yeah, we've got. Oh, there we go. We've got 51 viewers currently in. We've got 53 likes. But yeah, if you haven't hit that like button, I'd very much appreciate if you could give it a quick click for me. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing, as I always say at the end of every one of my videos. Looking forward to the 9K. Cheers, Jay. Absolutely, mate. Onwards and upwards and all that. The journey continues as it will. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that, mate. Cheers, Welsh. Absolutely. So yeah, everyone, honestly, thank you so much for joining me for this celebration. Really appreciate your time and your chat and everything in the stream tonight. I will do my very best to get on a live stream again as soon as physically possible. Yes, and don't forget to watch BDD Gaming. Yes, like I say, if you're not on my Discord already, there'll be a link. There's a link in the video description. Jump on my Discord. And then Saturday afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and forgive me, obviously, I'm not too sure what time where everyone's going to be in the world, but I know in Florida it's 1:30 in the afternoon. Here it's 6:30 in the evening. So I'll put a link mid to late afternoon on Saturday to BDD's channel, to the video, to the stream, and it'll be great to see some of you there. The more the merrier. And I'm sure BDD will be grateful for a sub if you can give him one of them. He is a FARMERSIM content creator as well. So it's always good to introduce new creators to new viewers. So by all means, go give him a shout as well. But if you fancy searching for him before, BDD Gaming. Search him out on YouTube. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your support, for your company this evening on the stream. It's been awesome. Thanks. And I'll see you all soon. Nice one all. See you later.